Welcome to the deep dive. We take your sources, unpack the key insights, and, well, help make you instantly well-informed.
And today, we're looking at something I think a lot of people will connect with.
Absolutely. It's this idea of the good girl costume. If you've ever felt like you're sort of living half a life just to keep things smooth.
Or constantly trying so hard to be good that it's just draining.
Exactly. Then this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to explore where it comes from, how it kind of sneaks into our lives almost without us noticing.
And the real costs, the personal impact of keeping that costume on, the material you shared gives us some really compelling insights.
It really does. It paints this picture, doesn't it, of learning a kind of choreography.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. The right smile, how to fold yourself up small to fit what others expect.
And the tricky part is how often that gets confused with being kind or mature or, graceful.
Right, when actually, as the sources point out, it can be the art of disappearing in plain sight, which
Yeah,
is quite a striking phrase.
it really is. So our mission today in this deep dive is all about unlearning, I suppose,
Peeling off those layers, those costumes we maybe didn't even know we put on.
and finding out who we are underneath all that without the scripts, the rules, the fear, really.
Yeah, the fear that often drives it.
Okay, so let's get into it. How does someone actually get this good girl costume? Because, like you said, it's not like it's explicitly giving to you.
No, definitely not. The sources suggest it's much more subtle. It's something that's just felt in the air, as they put it.
In the air, how so?
Well, it's in the praise you get for being quiet, maybe, or the warmth you feel when you don't rock the boat.
Ah, okay. And maybe the opposite, too, like silence if you speak up too much.
Precisely. Or if you want too much.
Mm.
Those signals, they get absorbed quickly, quietly, constantly. They shape you without anyone needing to say, be this way.
That makes a lot of sense. It's sort of learned through osmosis. So what are the specific rules, then, these directives that get absorbed?
The sources list quite a few. Things like be nice, be small, be perfect, be agreeable.
Don't interrupt.
Don't interrupt, don't want too much. And a big one, don't name the thing everyone's pretending isn't there.
Wow. That's a lot to internalize. And how do the sources describe the costume itself? What's it made of?
It's described really vividly. Sewn from smiles and swallowed words, apologies, tiptoes, shame, and anxiety.
That's powerful imagery.
It is. And then there's that line from the author saying, it was worn so long I forgot it wasn't skin.
Forgot it wasn't skin. Oh, that just shows how deep it goes, doesn't it? It becomes part of you.
Completely integrated.
And it sounds like, at least initially, there are payoffs for wearing it. External rewards.
Oh, definitely. The sources mentioned getting, like, awards for being so mature at school.
Right. Or being praised for being easygoing at home.
Exactly. Learning to read the room, adjust your mood to everyone else's.
Yeah.
And out in the world, yeah, you get rewarded for being sweet, soft-spoken, self-sacrificing, and mistake-free.
People call you a good girl. That's the label. Yeah.
Well, it sounds pretty appealing on the surface.
Yeah.
You get approval, validation. It does seem like a good deal. Until, as the sources reveal, you look closer at what good actually means in this context.
Ah, okay. So there's a catch. What's the unsettling part?
This is where it really shifts. The sources argue that good can be another word for disappearing.
Disappearing.
Yeah. For people-pleasing, for self-abandonment dressed as perfection. It's this realization that all that approval, it was costing me presence, costing me myself.
So the things people praised being respectful or mature were actually hiding something else.
Exactly. What they called respectful was often repression. That's a direct quote. And what they praised as mature was often just the art of seeking approval.
And the motivation underneath it all wasn't actual goodness.
No. The source is incredibly direct here. I wasn't good, I was afraid.
Afraid. Okay. Afraid of what, though? What drives that need to be so small?
It points to fear of conflict, fear of being left, and this deep fear that if people saw all of me, they would turn away.
That's heavy. So the reaction is to shrink.
Make yourself smaller, more palatable, more digestible. That's how the sources put it.
And somehow that gets called love. That's quite disturbing.
It is challenging.
Yeah.
The source says this dynamic, this performance, was often called love. But then it clarifies.
It wasn't love at all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
It was condescending, disrespectful, a one-sided relationship, a performance.
Just a performance. And that must be exhausting.
Absolutely. It leads straight to exhaustion, pretending that compliance was strength, that approval-seeking was grace. It's just not sustainable. A huge cost for wearing that costume.
Yeah, that exhaustion makes total sense. The constant effort of keeping up the act. So, if this costume leads to losing yourself, how do you even start to take it off, to unlearn it?
Well, the sources introduce this really interesting idea, writing a letter
A letter. To who?
to your good girl self, to that part of you.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's the purpose of that?
It's a way to acknowledge everything that part of you did. The sources suggest wording like, "Dear good girl, I see you. You worked so hard to be easy to love."
Acknowledging the effort.
Yes, you kept your voice soft, your needs quiet. You smiled when you were aching, nodded when you wanted to scream. Recognizing it was a survival strategy.
Learning how to survive in a world that didn't make space for your fullness. That's powerful.
It really is. It reframes it not as a flaw, but as something that served a purpose then.
And then what? After acknowledging it.
Then comes this beautiful moment of permission. Permission to rest.
Like saying, you did your job, but I've got it now.
Exactly that. You protected me, you got me here. But now, you can rest. I'll carry us forward. It marks that turning point.
The point where you realize.
The good girl costume doesn't fit anymore. It never truly did.
So what happens then? When the costume starts to come off, what do the sources say you find underneath?
Someone real, wild, kind, passionate, whole. That's the description.
Real, wild, kind. I like that combination.
Yeah. Someone who understands that love is not earned through pretending, that strength isn't about suppression.
And that you don't have to negotiate your worth.
Precisely. The aim becomes just being. Fully, softly, honestly, yourself.
And the hope is that inspires others too.
That's the beautiful ripple effect mentioned. The more others will remember they can be too.
That feels like a really important shift, which brings us to this other key distinction the sources make, right? Between being good and being whole.
Yes, this is crucial. One performs, the other breathes. That sums it up pretty well.
Performs versus breathes. Okay, so it's not about suddenly becoming unkind or ditching compassion.
Not at all. It's about expanding compassion, learning how to include myself in it. That's the key phrase.
Including yourself. Because sometimes that goodness is really...
Quiet self-abandonment tucked beneath a smile.
Yeah, that's another really potent line from the sources.
You can just picture that, can't you? The tight-lipped yes when every cell says no.
Exactly. Gathering that approval, but at the cost of our presence.
Okay, but then what about kindness? People might ask, isn't being good just about being agreeable, being nice? That's the common mix-up, isn't it? But the sources tackle this head-on. They say the heart of this practice doesn't ask us to be agreeable. It asks us to be real.
Real, not just agreeable. So true compassion isn't necessarily about being liked.
No, it's about being aligned. Aligned with your own truth. Reducing harm where you can, yes, but opening space for care.
For others, yes, but also for you. There's that self-inclusion again.
It keeps coming back to that. So kindness isn't always a yes.
Sometimes it's a no.
Sometimes kindness says yes, sometimes it says no. Sometimes it holds silence because there's no honest word yet to offer. It's about freedom.
Freedom, not just niceness.
It's about being free. Free to respond genuinely. Free to set boundaries that allow for real connection, not just surface-level stuff.
And understanding that sometimes kindness needs to shake things up a bit.
Exactly. The strongest kindness sometimes shakes things up. It's not passive.
This sounds like a much healthier, more awake way to live compared to that constant performance and exhaustion we talked about.
It absolutely is. The sources call it the middle way, and they add, not the easy way, it's the awake way.
The awake way. I like that. What does that involve?
Pausing, listening to yourself, to the situation, and remembering things like authenticity is not selfish.
That's a big one. People worry about that.
Yeah, and presence is an offering. And crucially, care is only sustainable when it includes everyone, especially you.
It all loops back. You have to include yourself for it to be sustainable.
You do, which leads to that final powerful message from the sources. You are not here to perform goodness. You are here to live it.
And that, dear one, includes you. Wow,
Yeah.
What a journey we've covered. From unconsciously putting on that costume, feeling its weight, to exploring how to shed it and embrace something more authentic, shifting from performing goodness to actually living it.
It's a profound shift described in the material.
And for those of you listening, if this deep dive really struck a chord, we did find a resource mentioned in the sources that sounds incredibly helpful for this process.
Yes, it's called the Good Girl, Good Boy Pressure Release Kit. Sounds useful, right?
It really does. How is it described?
As a gentle, step-by-step guide. It's designed to help you Loosen the grip of guilt, shame, and fear when the old patterns start pulling you back in.
Okay, so practical help for when those old habits resurface.
Exactly. Powerful enough, it says, to help break lifelong habits and let you breathe more freely into who you truly are.
Breathing more freely. That sounds like a worthy goal.
Definitely.
So, as we wrap up, maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to carry with you from this deep dive, something to ponder.
Building on everything we've discussed.
What would it actually feel like to bring your whole self into the moment? Messy parts, clear parts, loving parts, the true parts, all of it.
Knowing that that act, just showing up fully,
Is your soft rebellion, your return to realness. What would that feel like for you?